Hi Aquarius, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for May. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm going to take a quick second to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Aquarius out there, so guys, just take what resonates for you. Simply leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. And as always, Aquarius, please don't try to force yourself into a reading that is not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Aquarius? Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, you are starting out with the Six of Cups. You have the Seven of Wands and the Page of Swords in the reverse. So you're kind of thinking about somebody here from your past, it looks like, Aquarius. Somebody you may have some fond memories with, or just, it could be a soulmate as well. It doesn't have to be from your past. But I do feel like you're kind of daydreamy here. You're looking at things. You know, sometimes you feel very emotional about this. Other times you feel like, oh, this, you know, it's a balancing act. But I do feel like you're kind of head in the clouds, kind of energy. Now, if this is someone from the past, you could be a little defensive. You could feel like you don't know what's going on with this person, and you could be kind of trying to feel that out, trying to figure that out. I see some defensive energy here, though. I see the energy of kind of standing your ground on something here. For some of you, there's somebody here that you're not really talking with. I don't know why I'm getting this, but I'm hearing that somebody could have told you something about someone from your past, and it's made you feel a bit defensive. I see you scoping out a situation, though. So let me see who's in your energy. Show me who's in... There you go. Show me who is in Aquarius energy, please. Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Three of Swords reversed. All right, so this person that's in your energy, I do feel like this is somebody who is very patient. They're very patient about getting what it is that they want. This is somebody who has gone through, and they, trust me, Aquarius, this person knows what they want. And when they find what it is that they want, they will invest in it, but they're being patient about it. And I do feel like with the Three of Swords here in the reverse, this is somebody who has gone through some heartbreak here. This is someone who is healing from that. Possibly a third-party situation for some of you. So this person is healing. They're willing to invest, but it's got to be something that satisfies them, that makes them feel as if, you know, it's going to be productive, or, you know, that they will want to invest. And they're being patient. Let me see the energy between Aquarius and this person. Page of Pentacles. You could be texting with this person. This could be a new person. But if it's a new person, it's a soulmate. If it's someone from your past, there's an energy of talking, texting, or, you know, some sort of a small gesture here. And this person's kind of waiting to see what's going to happen before they put any effort into this. Show me what's affecting this connection. Show me what's affecting this connection. Okay, that's unusual. But I got 3 cards for what's affecting the connection, so we're going to take them. All right, so we have the Ten of Wands reversed. We have the Six of Swords. Oh my gosh, 4 cards. But I was told to take the cards, so I'm taking them. We have the Strength card in the reverse. So there's fear here. Six of Swords. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed. All right, so... Interesting. All right, so let's talk. What I'm seeing that's affecting this connection is there's definitely some fear that's here. there has been chaos, either individually, like one or the other of you has experienced chaos. Now, if you have experienced chaos, it could have been with somebody from your past, or it could be with this person. But I do feel like you both have experienced some chaos. This person's gone through something that broke their heart and caused a lot of pain, although they're healing. You're a little defensive. So I feel like there was a loss for you, Aquarius. There was a deep loss. You've been moving on from that. But it's almost like this connection, this relationship here, whether it's someone from the past or whether it's someone that is new, is bringing those fears of loss, bringing up fears of a lack of independence and loss. And I feel like you're kind of defensive about that because you feel like you've kind of moved on. So what I'm saying is this person is triggering you. They're definitely triggering you. Now, in their energy, I do see that this is somebody who is, you know, they definitely want what they want. They know what they want and they're willing to invest to get what they want. So they're kind of checking you out. They're kind of deciding, do they want to invest in this connection or not? Do they want to put the effort into it? They have their own set of fears here. So you're triggering one another. With the Ten of Wands here, if this is in the reverse, if this is somebody from your past, this is somebody that, you know, you likely had a lot of problems with. And I do feel like they do want to like resolve any issues or problems that are here. If this is somebody new, they're trying to avoid problems that they experienced in the past. They're seeing you as wish fulfillment. I do feel like this is somebody who does want to invest in you. But there's fear on both sides. So you're kind of triggering one another. I do feel that the two of you are going to be able to move this forward to a more comfortable area. Because what is bringing up the fear has to do with communication. You know, as you're communicating, it's stirring the pot. It's bringing up issues. So... Yeah, I feel like you have to be very careful, Aquarius, of codependent energy. This person's trying not to stir the pot because I feel like they're sensing it and they don't want to cause problems. But I feel like you're going to move out of this. This looks like the initial, you know, you're initially talking with somebody, or if it's someone from the past, you're revisiting some things. All right, so... let me see the outcome at the end of the week for Aries and this person. Yeah, Six of Wands, successful. You're going to successfully move out of this fear state. You may feel like this person's not telling you the truth or that they're not telling you everything, like they're leaving things out, particularly with regard to their past. So, but there is success here. So that's a good sign. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Swords in the reverse. All right, so that's freeing yourself from anxiety. You know, this is creating anxiety. It's creating fear. Underlying energy says that you're going to be moving on from that. You're going to be resolving that, which is very good. So let's look at this. Spirit, why is the Six of Cups here for Aquarius? Why is the Six of Cups here for Aquarius? Queen of Cups. And the Five of Swords. So this could be somebody you've had conflict with. If so, they want to resolve that. I do feel like for most of you, though, this is internal conflict. You could be really up in your head about this person. I do feel like you might have some feelings, or it could just be that, you know, because of past issues, you're very careful about who you are giving your feelings and emotions to. So you could be a little conflicted about this person, and it's related to the communication. So there's conflict here, there's fear here. But I do feel like you're kind of very interested. This is a love interest. So let me see why the Seven of Wands is here. Why is the Seven of Wands here for Aquarius? Three of Wands and the Five of Wands reversed. So you're waiting to resolve this conflict. Yeah, you're waiting to resolve the conflict here, whether it's internal or external. Yeah, but there's some defensiveness. I feel like there's been conflict. A lot of it's internal. You're very defensive. Let me see why the Page of Swords is in reverse. Four of Wands reversed. Ten of Cups reversed. Yeah, you're wondering if there's stability. You don't know if there's stability here. You don't know if this is the right relationship for you. You don't know if it's going to make you happy. Some of you don't know if this person has ended another connection. I definitely feel like you're unsure if this is going to make you happy, if this is going to be your Ten of Cups here. Because you're not willing to, you know, just have the Nine of Cups. You want the Ten of Cups. You want the happiness. You want the family, you know. And I do feel like a lot of you guys have gone through an ending here that has caused a lot of unhappiness. And it has left a mark on you as far as bringing up your fears and your concerns. So, and that's normal. That's why we do the healing work. So, you know, let me see this person's energy, because I feel like your boundaries are very high right now, Aquarius. Let me see, why is the Seven of Pentacles here for this person's energy that's in Aquarius energy? Three of Cups reversed, Four of Cups reversed. Yeah, they're watching and waiting. I feel like this is somebody who has experienced unhappiness in something that they invested in the past. I feel like it was something that they thought was going to be, you know, a very loving connection, whether that was with you or with someone else. And I feel like, you know, they may have felt in some sense disrespected in that connection. It caused a lot of unhappiness. So now this person is kind of holding back. They want to invest, but due to past experiences, they're kind of holding back. But they definitely have their eye on you. In fact, the more they try not to think about you, Aquarius, the more they think about you. This person, you know, desires communication. They are looking at this. They've learned lessons from the past. And I do feel like, you know, if they had an opportunity to reinvest with somebody from their past, they would not do that. I really get the sense that this person was in a third party, you know, somebody may have cheated on them. There was some third party energy. I'm getting it very heavily that this person experienced. And that's why they're very patient. That's why they're kind of holding back and deciding if they want to invest in this. There was some unhappiness that was related to third party in this person's energy. But I do feel like they are kind of looking at you as a love interest. And I feel like you're kind of developing some feelings. But you're both being affected by the past. Why is the Nine of Cups here for the person in Aquarius energy? Four of Swords reversed. And the Lovers in reverse. Yeah. So this person does see you as wish fulfillment. I do feel like they're going to tell you that. They're still doing some healing, though. They still have some healing to go over a past relationship. And I do feel like they may have fears that you're going to choose someone else, someone over them. Yeah, I feel like some of them may have a fear that you're going to choose someone over them, and that's where their fear is coming in. But I do feel like they're going to communicate with you. I feel like they're going to tell you about a past relationship. I feel like they're going, but they have to feel comfortable before they do that. So that's why they're kind of holding back. They're kind of watching and waiting. But you're going to hear from them. It could have been, it could have also been a few days before you have talked with this person. Let me see why the Three of Swords is here. Why is the Three of Swords in reverse for this person? Yeah, there it is again. Seven of Coins. And the King of Swords reversed. All right, so we definitely have strong Gemini energy. There's also Libra, Aquarius energy here. This person is waiting to see what you're going to do because I feel like they don't want to get hurt again. They may be thinking that possibly you're not being upfront and honest with them. It's almost like the two of you are mirroring each other a little bit. So I feel like whatever happened in the past was caused by third-party energy, most likely, and it was definitely something that they had to struggle with. They invested with somebody who was not honest, who was not, you know, being truthful, and it hurt them. They got hurt. And so I feel like the two of you are triggering each other. So this person's MO is to kind of wait and see what you're going to do. And you don't, I feel like you don't like that. You're interpreting that as them not being very forthcoming, possibly not telling you everything. Let me see the energy between you and this person. I do feel like for most of you, this is a new person. Show me the energy between Aquarius and this person. All right, so we have the Star card. You are definitely in your element. That is major arcana for Aquarius. I do feel like you're, and then we have the Ace of Swords. So I feel like you're very balanced here. I feel like you're definitely, you know, you're grounded, but yet you're exploring your feelings and your emotions for this person. Could be doing some fantasizing here. I do see the conflict, and that's related to the fear, but you're hopeful. There's definitely a sense of hope, and you're enjoying this person's attention. This person is going to be increasing their communication with you. I feel like, you know, they're kind of in this patient mode, watching and waiting to see if you're, you know, what you're going to do. Are you going to be truthful with them? Are you not being truthful? But I feel like it's coming from the past. And this person, the more they try not to think about you, the more they are going to think about you. And they actually feel like you are a wish fulfillment, like you're a gift from God. So they're recognizing that. Now let's look at what's affecting the connection. So the communication is going to increase. And as the communication increases, so does your hope. Show me what's affecting the connection between Aquarius and this person. Ah, you're in the Empress energy. Nice job, Aquarius. So we have the Empress, we have the Sun in reverse, and the Hierophant. Okay, so what's affecting the connection? You both have fears. It's fears that are, you know, being provoked by the unknown, by what you don't know, not what you do know. And it's causing some unhappiness for both of you. This is affecting the connection. However, you are hopeful and you're in the Empress energy. I feel like in the past, you may have been in a very codependent relationship. And I feel like that's part of why you're very, very, how do I word this? Like you're a little bit defensive here. You've got this internal conflict and it's kind of showing itself also in the physical world. So you're kind of waiting to resolve that conflict. So, you know, you've gone through some sort of a big loss in the past, but I do feel like you're past that. You're in this Empress energy and you're kind of saying, you know, I'm just going to let this resolve itself. I'm going to let all things that, you know, are good flow to me. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm hopeful. I am seeing that your energy is high. You're in your power for sure. And I do feel like, you know, you kind of had to build yourself up from that. I feel like like if here's the bar, you guys were under the bar, right? When you started out, and you have literally built yourself up. And now, you know, you could be doing well financially. You could be doing very well spiritually, emotionally. And I feel like you're just going to let things flow to you. You're choosy about love. And I think you should be. I think everyone should be. And it's almost this energy of, you know, what is for me is not going to pass me by. And if it's not for me, then I will move forward. Now, in their energy, this is somebody, could be a Taurus, by the way, but this is somebody who, you know, has resolved a lot of problems in their life. I feel like they are highly spiritual here. They're showing up with the Hierophant energy. So this is somebody that is highly spiritual. They see you as wish fulfillment. There is another relationship that has affected this connection, but I feel like it's because of the past. When this person might have gone out of contact with you. And if so, it could have been because they were dealing with someone from the past, or a resolution of something from the past. They could have also, this person could be in counseling in order to resolve the issues that they have. But they are highly spiritual in nature is how it's looking. So I do feel like they want to invest in this connection, but they may be afraid that you're not being on the up and up with them. Yeah, there's a sense of, you know, you both have that fight or flight type of energy here, and it's based in fear. Now, let's look at your outcome. Show me the outcome for Aquarius and this person at the end of the week. All right, so we have the 5 of Cups reversed. We have the 9 of Pentacles, and we have the 9 of Swords reversed. So I do think that there is going to be success, but it's not going to happen until the two of you can resolve issues from the past and then see the potential in this connection. You are showing up by the end of the week, still being single. I do feel like you're not happy with this. Now, for some of you, this person could be still in another connection that they haven't quite gotten out of. Like, how do I word this? Like, maybe they're separated but not quite divorced. Maybe they're, you know, trying to leave a relationship. So for some of you, you're waiting for something to end here, and you're kind of like, I don't know if they're actually going to end that. I don't feel like that's many of you, but for some of you, I do see that. Regardless, I see you kind of not really knowing about this person by the end of the week. There's still lessons, because you're triggering each other, and there's still lessons that you need to learn from the past and a past connection that this person's going to trigger, and same for them. So I do feel that, you know, they are kind of full of anxiety and full of worry that you're not being clear, you're not being honest with them. And I do feel like that's what's causing them to kind of hold back, even though they do see you as wish fulfillment. I feel like, you know, once they can resolve these issues, and for some of them, they're actually going to counseling and they're bringing this up during counseling. But I do feel like, you know, they're coming out of that anxiety and they're beginning to see the potential in this relationship. This is something it looks like that is relatively new, and I do feel like you're triggering one another in this process. Now, ultimately, it does look like there will be success. Now, for some of you, you might find success on your own. But I do feel like for most of you, once the two of you, you're going to trigger each other. Once the two of you address what's being triggered and resolve those things, then you'll be able to appreciate this connection and what it could be. So, bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands in the reverse. It's underlying energy, and it does indicate a lack of communication currently. It can also indicate, you know, kind of, because it's coming out here with the 8 of Swords in the reverse. So I do feel like you're kind of freeing yourself from some fears here, fear of the unknown. And I feel like fear of what's not being said. So some good communication would probably go a long way in this scenario. All right, I'm going to pull from the oracles. We'll see if there's any messages. We're only going to take the first one. All right, you have number 23. Now that does come down to a 5, so that tells me that you are going through a lot of changes right now. It says give to the mind and it gives back. So this is about mood, cycles, and inspiration. And I'm going to read that for you. Give me just a second. All right, so your affirmation says, I take care of my mind and it takes care of me. The scientist, mental clarity, brain power, and peace. If we want to brighten the mind, then we must feed it light. The mind is a delicate and ironically powerful center. It is fragile in the sense that it wants its owner to be gentle and kind to its needs. Only then can it be an awakened and healthy force. To be strong, the mind must be nourished in ways that best suit it. Not every mind has the same mental appetite. It must be treated with reciprocity and respect. We cannot expect so much from it when we are not giving something of equal value in return. The mind card is about mental health, creative stimulation, inspiration, and thoughtfulness. The artist must create, the scientist must experiment, the monk must meditate, the shaman must chant, the explorer must explore. We all have pieces of these archetypes within us. There is a cycle of inspiration. We must nurture them or the artist will get depressed. The scientist will go stark raving mad. The monk will lose their peace. The shaman's connection with spirit weakened, and so on. Without the proper nutrients, they cannot flow or grow. Pulling the mind card can also be a positive omen that a bright, creative, and intelligent time is coming, that you've been putting all of this into practice, and your mind is sparkling and brimming with mental growth, new ideas, and clarity. This can be a time of stimulating momentum and strokes of brilliance in your life. Take advantage of it and continue to treat your mind with the utmost respect and love. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you, Aquarius. If you've resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. And until I see you in the next reading, namaste.